Erik ten Hag has revealed that he is waiting on a fitness assessment of Marcus Rashford, while Anthony Martial will play no part Sunday's Carabao Cup final showdown with Newcastle United at Wembley. Rashford came off with an ankle knock in the 88th minute of United's Europa League victory over Barcelona last night. Meanwhile, Martial is set to miss his 9th straight game with a hip injury. Newcastle will be without the suspended Nick Pope for the Wembley bout, with ex-Liverpool goalkeeper Loris Karius expected to deputise, given Martin Dubravka is cup-tied after inclusion in earlier rounds for United during his loan spell. Ten Hag outlined his annoyance with Newcastle's time wasting this season, but said United would be focusing on their own game. The Reds' boss also noted the absence of Pope and said his side would test out his replacement on Sunday. 1304 Isaac Johnson Summary of key points 1301 Isaac Johnson Erik ten Hag notes Newcastle time-wasting tactics. Erik ten Hag has noted the time-wasting tactics of Newcastle ahead of Sunday's Carabao Cup final. The Magpies have been accused of ticking down the clock under Eddie Howe this season, and Ten Hag pointed out that their matches have the fewest number of minutes where the ball is in play. He also commented on the absence of first-choice goalkeeper Nick Pope, who is suspended for the Wembley showdown. 12:57 Key event Rashford and Martial injury updates ahead of Carabao Cup final. Manchester United manager Erik ten Hag is unsure if Marcus Rashford will be fit to start the League Cup final against Newcastle. Rashford sustained an ankle injury in the second half of United's 2-1 Europa League playoff win over Barcelona on Thursday night and was substituted in the 88th minute. Anthony Martial, who has not started a game since January 14 and last completed 90 minutes in January 2021, is still out with a hip injury. 12:40 Isaac Johnson. That's all. That marks the end of the open section of the press conference. 12:39 Key event Anthony Martial update 12:39 Isaac Johnson being in 4 competitions 12:38 Isaac Johnson on Newcastle style and time wasting on Pope's time wasting 12:36 Isaac Johnson Nick Pope suspension 12:36 Isaac Johnson on progress and winning League Cup 12:34 Isaac Johnson on beating Barcelona 12:33 Isaac Johnson on winning silverware 12:32 Key event Erik ten Hag on Rashford fitness 12:32 Isaac Johnson Erik ten Hag on Cup final 12:31 Isaac Johnson Erik ten Hag is here. The press conference is underway. 12:25 Isaac Johnson starting shortly. Erik ten Hag will be here in 5 minutes. 12:14 Isaac Johnson today's potential talking points 12:01 Key event Take our Carabao Cup final poll 11:47 Isaac Johnson Erik ten Hag's warning to Real Betis. Speaking after the win over Barcelona last night, Erik ten Hag said his side would be prepared for any team United were drawn against in the Europa League last 16. He said, 11:30 Isaac Johnson Manchester United find out Europa League last 16 opponents. United will take on Real Betis in the last 16 of the Europa League following last night's playoff win over Barcelona. The two clubs have never met competitively before, although faced each other in a friendly during December's mid-season break amid the World Cup. Erik ten Hag will give his reaction to the draw this lunchtime. Isaac Johnson Rashford's cryptic Instagram story. Isaac Johnson update on Martial expected. Anthony Martial has missed 25 games this season and is currently recovering from his 5th separate setback. His hip injury has kept out of the last 8 games, with the striker playing just 151 minutes of football in 2023, having last featured for 45 minutes in the 2-1 win over Manchester City. Erik ten Hag is expected detail his fitness ahead of the trip to Wembley this afternoon. Isaac Johnson. Erik ten Hag, Barcelona win our biggest this season. Speaking after full-time, Erik ten Hag admitted United's two-legged triumph over Barcelona in the Europa League playoff was the best win so far during his tenure. Isaac Johnson. Welcome to today's live press conference blog as Erik ten Hag meets the media ahead of the trip to Wembley for Sunday's Carabao Cup final versus Newcastle. An injury update on Anthony Martial is expected as the Reds boss reflects on last night's Europa League playoff win over Barcelona.